And now, a board game review from me, Joe Sallen.
You're watching the Sallen Coefficient, a new and nuanced approach to board game reviewing by a core gamer for core gamers. Ever wondered what they mean when they say fun, or good, or bad, or awesome? At the Sallen Coefficient, I will tell you more to help you make up your mind about whether or not a game is worth your time.
Sponsored by Game Surplus, bringing the world of board games to you at GameSurplus.com.
Hello, I'm Joe Sallen, and welcome to the Sallen Coefficient, a video review series in which I let you know whether or not a game is worth your gaming time. Alright, so today I've got a game that's going to be a little bit different than maybe what you would expect from me for a review. It is called Happy Little Accidents, and it's kind of more of a party game, think maybe on the level of mass market. The first thing you'll notice about this box is the giant picture of Bob Ross. I was drawn to this game, published by Big G Creative, because they had a previous game about Bob Ross called The Art of Chill. And after playing that game, I decided it was a nice little simple painting game that had some really nice Bob Ross artwork and some other really positive things that made me want to seek out more from Big G Creative regarding their Bob Ross licensing. And so what Happy Little Accidents is departs from the painting pre-painted landscapes like in The Art of Chill, and instead now this is mainly going to be a drawing game. The back of the box outlines exactly what you're going to be doing in this game, and what that is everybody goes around the table just drawing a quick doodle on an included white paper pad, and then you take these papers, shuffle them up in the middle so that all the doodles, these random doodles, uninspired doodles, and you put them in the middle, and then there's going to be 3 rounds. Every player in each round will grab one of the sheets, and then they will be drawing an item based on a card. So these things, the ones they give on the back of the box, would be like kitten, fireplace, volcano, rude, rock. And so they tend to be very basic things, but there's a timer included, so you can only use 30 seconds when you're trying to make this doodle that could have been yours, could have been somebody else's, into the whatever the word is for the round. There will be 3 rounds, and at the end of those 3 rounds, you're going to each take an amount of tokens that have either 1, 2, or 3 points, which are little squirrels on the back of them. And everybody chooses their favorite drawing of the 3 that they've done, 1 per round, and then puts that in the middle, and then all players will give out their votes based on which one they enjoy the most, and whoever ends up with the most squirrels wins the game of Happy Little Accidents. So it is a party drawing game, and it's got this, the hook of it is that you're trying to turn a doodle into an actual piece of recognizable artwork. And so Happy Little Accidents is kind of a cute name to talk about that activity. But I precisely think it is an activity, and that this game errs in when it tries to make it into more of a game than an activity. The fun of the activity of drawing your thing and trying to turn this doodle into whatever the word for the round is, at the end of the game when you have to vote on everybody's, to me it almost betrays the concept of Bob Ross. He seemed to want to get everybody into painting and make it so that you could paint whatever you wanted and it wasn't a big deal. Now apparently, even though this game's idea is called Happy Little Accidents, the underlying judgment that each player is going to be applying to other players' artwork to me seems a little bit harsh, and okay, so I guess my accident was the least happy of them, and so it also gets into the territory of in any sort of a party game that's trying to turn an activity into a game. In this case, it could just turn into a popularity contest, or I'm worried that I'm going to give my votes to somebody, and then somebody's going to be offended because I didn't like what they did. So it's really I would say it's kind of an old school design of a party game, and I really think that the most the best aspect of this game is pretty much when you're going to see the box and see the idea of it. And then conceptually, what you're doing, the activity is in my opinion, quite enjoyable. But as soon as you start having to vote, the game gets into the weeds. And for that reason, the Sallen Coefficient, which is going to tell you how much a game is worth your time on a 10-point scale, for the Sallen Coefficient for this game, it is not applicable. It does not apply because this game is more of an activity than a game. I don't want to really even steer you in the direction of this game if you're looking for a game, because I think that you can kind of easily mimic what this game looks to do and do so with just your own paper. Some other aspects of the game, the production itself comes with some really small markers, and I feel like those are going to run out pretty quickly. Even though all players should have been given a separate black marker, so there should have been an extra pack of black markers, there's only one black marker included in the game, and you're supposed to use that every single game like 15 times, and so you're going to run out of ink pretty quickly, or whatever marker juice you call that. And the papers that you're drawing on are just simple white pieces of paper. The actual words you're going to be drawing seem fairly uninspired. I'd say that the example they give on the back of the box is pretty good example. In our game, we played with the word son, S-O-N. So I think that was kind of a poor choice just to give that as an example, because I had to first of all say it's spelled like a son, like father and son, and wasn't just like the son. And even after I explained it, I still had one player in our group that accidentally drew the son and not like a father-son. So I'd say that you could probably think up better words as a group than many of the ones that you'll find in this game. So it's a cheap game. It's and it has like a fuzzy cover, and just about everything that I could say about it is going to be something you'll notice. Like if you're watching this video, my honest, hopefully my opinion has come through pretty clearly so far. But if you know, the main audience for this game is going to be somebody who sees it, feels the cover, and is like, oh, I like Bob Ross. So I think if you're going to get a Bob Ross game, and even from the same company, I would highly recommend that you go for the Art of Chill over Happy Little Accidents. This game is not really, it doesn't feel like it captures the spirit of Bob Ross very well. It's like I said, it has you judging people based on what feels like it should be a fairly open-ended and inclusive activity. Instead, you're going to end up judging each other. I like playing with one of the players in the group that I played this, like it was very stressful, and that player still feels bad that they gave certain players less points than others. It's just that sort of popularity contest that really, I think it's just a very outdated design in party games, and it shows that they enjoyed the activity and they made a fun activity here that I quite enjoyed to participate in. But as soon as they tried to turn it into a game, in my opinion, it falls apart. And so my personal opinion of this game is that I enjoy the activity, but I don't feel a reason to really need to engage in this specific activity using the contents in this box. I feel like I could probably make my own markers and make my own other pieces that would help to maybe create the same sort of activity that this game is looking to produce, but I could probably do it in a way where it would be a little bit more, I don't know, I'd have better markers or have just better words to draw. So overall, Happy Little Accidents is, I hope that I've described it to the point where you can make that decision for yourself. It's not one that I would specifically guide anybody to. Like I said, the Art of Chill from this same company is in my opinion, a much smoother, cleaner game as opposed to this activity that I am, I'm interested in the activity, but not so much in the way that the game is structured to try to make that activity into a competitive experience. So that's my thoughts on Happy Little Accidents. I hesitate to even give my own numbered opinion of this game. So you can check the show notes. Maybe I'll put it there. But anyway, that is Happy Little Accidents. And this has been the Sallen Coefficient. Check out the next Sallen Coefficient video.
Check out more from Joe right here on the YouTube page for The Good, the Bored, and the Ugly under the playlist, The Sallen Coefficient. Also, find podcast episodes of The Good, the Bored, and the Ugly releasing weekly and tackling topics as well as reviewing and hyping games from many different perspectives. Also, the Longview podcast is hosted by Joe, and it covers one game for 1 to 2 hours. Find those audio programs on iTunes.